Let's bring in Daniel Wild, Deputy Executive Director at the Institute of Public Affairs. Dan, let's start with this story from Sky News political editor Andrew Clennell. He revealed this morning that Liberal Senators Alec Antic and Maria Kovacic had an ugly party room spat about the issue of gender dysphoria. Kovacic even complained to the party leadership about Antic. As we've spoken about many times on this program, Senator Antic is pushing for a Senate inquiry into the treatment of gender dysphoria, particularly for children. Kovacic and a few other small L Liberals joined Labor and the Greens to vote against Antic's proposals. She's reportedly claimed that his advocacy in this area is all about politics and boosting his political credentials. I don't exactly know how that's a criticism, but good on her. I do wonder, though, who leaked this story and what they hope to gain from it.
Well, who knows? I mean, I know Antic has said that this is the ultimate sort of insider story, that who cares in the real world about it. But there is an important policy point here, and Senator Antic is somebody who stands up. He speaks the truth on things. He's always going to be a lightning rod for criticism because he does that. On this particular issue, he's been a leader, both in his state of South Australia and nationally. His position is the right position from a policy perspective, which is that we need to have a proper inquiry and look into what is happening with gender dysphoria and the medicalisation of that matter. So, look, on the policy front, he's 100% right. Like I say, he sticks his neck out. He's happy to have a debate. And, he's always going to be someone who's criticised, but I've got to say you can't fault him when it comes to his arguments.
Well, he's on the right side of history. You only have to look at what's happening in the UK, America, Scandinavia. If they think this damages Alec Antic, then they're without a clue. I would say the overwhelming majority of Liberal politicians, as well as Liberal voters, coalition voters, back him on this issue. And it seems that we've got these few loud Liberals, or Liberals in name only, linos I call them, who are really frustrating efforts for the party to differentiate itself to Labor on these crucial issues. Now, you might call them their culture war issues, but they're actually issues of consequence. And if you don't protect cultural issues, then, why are you in politics?
Well, what's the point? And this is not just a culture war issue. This is about the family and family values. It's about parental autonomy over decisions, consequential, lifelong decisions that will affect their children. It touches on so many aspects of our society. And you're right to talk about differentiation. Families are crying out for political leadership on this issue, on school choice, on religious freedom. And now is the time for the coalition to speak to those people that have been left behind by the political system.
Now, we've got a new AG. I don't know how excited you are about this. GG, I should say, Governor General. Sam Moyston's going to be the next Governor General. And I've got to say, you have to hand it to Labor. They do not waste an appointment. They make sure every single one is on their side, pushing their agenda. Here's another leftist appointment, climate warrior, made all sorts of comments during COVID lockdowns, which I don't think she would be very proud of today. Maybe she would be, who knows. But you compare that, Dan, to the Liberals and the appointment of figures like Ita Buttrose as ABC chair, or Julie Inman-Grant as the E-Safety Commissioner. They just continuously seem to make the wrong calls. And whatever you say about Labor, they back their people, they back their own agenda and make sure the people they appoint are singing from the same hymn book.
Labor play to win, the coalition play to sit in office. That's the reality at a federal level. Labor are they may have only been in government for a quarter of the time since World War II, but they get the job done from their own ideological perspective. In terms of the substance of the appointment, I'd say that the Prime Minister has brought shame on our nation in this appointment. It's a divisive appointment. Basically, we now have a woke HR bureaucrat, anti-monarchist, who is Governor General, which is an important figure in our society. She's not going to be able to represent our nation with any fidelity on the international stage. As you pointed out, she is an activist. Now, that's perfectly fine. If you want to be an activist, that's fine. The role of Governor General should be impartial. Whatever your views are, that's fine. But leave them at the door and discharge your responsibilities in a proper, impartial manner. I just don't think this appointment's going to do that, and Australians will not support it.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. It is their head of state, and they should be apolitical at the very least. And this is someone whose track record isn't apolitical, no matter how they like to paint it. The comments are on the public record. But I think she's also a bit of a media darling. So I do wonder how much scrutiny there will be when she deviates from this apolitical framework she's supposed to work within.
Well, it's a good point, because this will give us an insight into how a republic could work if we had one, where you have division between the Prime Minister and the President. If she's going to continue to act in a political role,
she's on message with the Prime Minister. So we're not going to have too much of a conflict
until she's not, right? This is always the challenge. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if she goes off script with a different message from the government. Well, that's why the monarchy that we have is good. You don't have divided sovereignty. So the plus of this, it may give people an insight into how divisive a republic can be.